So I literally just finished the Skypiea arc, like not even 5 minutes ago, and I have one question that I really want answered. I don't care if you guys have to spoil me, but this is the only question I will allow spoilers for. Now, I just got to the part where at the end of the episode, Luffy and the gang, they just hit the Blue Sea again, and they got surrounded by, I guess, marine spotlights. I'm not sure, but who was the person up in Skypiea on the upper yard or whatever who repaired their ship? Like, who got the mast out of the clouds where the sky sharks were and repaired their shit, yo? Based on what Usopp saw, he thinks it was a ghost, and there was like a very ominous smile from this character, and I thought immediately that it may be like the ghost of Nolan, maybe even Kagura, but up until that point, there has not been any supernatural elements to this story whatsoever. Not with like anyone coming back from the afterlife, and then especially being able to repair a ship and stuff like that. So did I miss something? Did I really miss something? Because I really want to know who that mysterious character was. But anyway, on to the arc itself. It was an amazing arc, and Eneru, yet again, another amazing villain. And the Luffy versus Eneru fight, I'm not sure if I like it more than the Luffy versus Crocodile. I mean, Eneru is obviously way more powerful. I mean, just the electricity, the speed of lightning and everything that he's done. I mean, this guy has destroyed an entire island. Not saying that Crocodile couldn't, but I think I prefer that fight because it seemed like Crocodile pushed Luffy to the limits. Like, he damn near killed him twice, whereas Eneru, he couldn't really do anything to Luffy. The biggest threat to Luffy's life was the gold on his wrist and maybe Skypiea falling or some shit, but like the actual Eneru couldn't take him on with all his might, even after making that pitchfork or that trident shape out of that gold. I mean, he didn't stand a chance against Luffy, man. And as soon as I found out that Eneru, his ability was lightning, I was like, Luffy is rubber, right? So what is he going to do against him? So I kind of saw that coming. But not to say that the fight was bad at all, because it wasn't. It was epic, especially that the golden pistol that rang the bell, and so we saw Luffy in the sky. Just the entire fight was amazing, yo. But like I said, I like the Crocodile versus Luffy fight better simply because it seemed like Luffy's life was in more danger then. But Eneru as a villain, I do like him better simply because he is just this all-powerful being. He really reminds me of Pain from Naruto for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's because he calls himself God and he destroys an entire village or whatever. But he really has that vibe going on. And as far as his ideals and his motives, I'm not exactly sure if he could have been written a little bit better, because he really just wants to go to the endless Verth, or just, you know, as we know, just solid dry land and just get down from the sky. Why couldn't he just do that on his own? I mean, I can understand that he thinks that he's God and he's delusional to the point where he thinks that he can rule over everything. But, I mean, why did he have to take out the Sky people, the Skypians? Why did he have to do all that? Why couldn't he just get the ship built and then just take off into the endless Verth by himself? Like, that logic, I mean, he just seemed like he was too full of himself, and that's some things that I kind of dislike in characters. Like, he didn't really have any other motive to do what he was doing, but besides the fact that he was just this power-hungry and big-headed fool, pretty much. But Eneru is an awesome boss. He is godlike. I liked his transformation that he underwent right before Lucy punched the shit out of him. That big, he looked like a chubby lightning sumo wrestler. It looked awesome. But with that being said, around the last or second to last episode of this arc, we do see him going to the endless Verth. So I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the last that we've seen of Eneru. I just love how Eneru thinks he's the big boss, the big shit right now. But wait till he gets to the Grand Line. Wait till he gets his endless Verth and finds more people with devil fruits. I'm pretty sure someone else with a superior Logia type can take him out. Like, he thinks he's the shit, man, and I just really want him to get his ass whooped by a few more awesome pirates. But the episode where Robin was reading the Poneglyph and Gold D. Roger has been there, I was like, what? First off, how did he get there? How did he get all the way up to the bell and whatnot, and why does he know how to write like that? This guy is truly a mystery. And the former god, I forget his name, I'm sorry, the one who's taking the role of God again, he mentions that Luffy kind of reminds him of Gold D. Roger, and since they both have D in their name, is that a hint that they're related somehow? Don't spoil it for me if it's already been confirmed in the manga or later on in the anime. I'm just thinking of this because of what he said, but that would be epic, man. If Luffy is actually the son or grandson of Gold D. Roger, that would be fucking epic. But the story behind Nolan and Kagura was so fucking sad, man. Like, how they departed, and just the fact that he couldn't make it back because he was deemed a liar and he was killed. Like, who kills someone for being a liar, seriously? But I'm just so glad that the bell got rung, and Nolan's descendant, Cricket, I believe his name was, actually heard it, and oh my god, their friendship was off the chain, man. I love those two characters. Really wish they could have hung out some more, and it just goes to show how much the bro love, like how strong bro love is, because when Nolan was about to die, he didn't think about his family, he didn't think about his wife, son, or daughter, whatever he had. He thought about his dog, man. He thought about Kagura, saying, like, where did you go? I hope you're alright. I hope you're not dead, when he's about to die. Same thing with Kagura. I mean, that's just an awesome friendship right there. They might as well have been brothers. And the theme of these Skypians and Shandians, it's obvious that it's kind of a reference to people coming to America and taking away land from Indians. I mean, Shandians, Indians, come on, and their land got taken away and whatnot. So I thought that was a very interesting twist, especially for One Piece. I wasn't expecting it to take that turn at all. Now back to Eneru's logic. I can kind of understand that he wants to return things to the way they're supposed to be, meaning that the Shandians and Upper Yard should be returned to the ground. Not saying that, you know, he should go about it how he did, but he tried to take the Skypians along with them when they were up there before Upper Yard even, you know, was launched up there. So I just thought that his way of thinking is just totally about power. Like, he's just doing it because he can. And I know I'm still far behind. I have a good 350 something more episodes to go, but I did make it to 195. I believe that's where I stopped, where they finally hit the water again. But I don't mean to speak bad on Usopp, but so far, I mean, don't get me wrong, when he was first introduced, I loved his character, man, and his cowardice was hilarious. But now it's getting a little bit annoying. Like, every time Zoro, Luffy, or whoever says, let's go do something, he's like, no, let's not. And it's just getting kind of annoying, so I hope he steps it up, especially after this time skip that I keep hearing about. But I just think that he's kind of taking a step backwards, because when he was introduced and he came to this realization, like, okay, I have to protect this village at any cost, and he set out to be a pirate, I thought that, I mean, I didn't think he would become, you know, brave just like that, but it seems like he's the exact same person that he was before Luffy even arrived on the scene, before he even left that island and became an actual pirate. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm not sure if he'll develop more, but right now he's kind of getting on my nerves. I hate to say it. I mean, he was an awesome character, but right now he's just, but I mean, he was brave as fuck for what he did at the end. In the last episode that I watched, when he put the dials underneath the ship and whatnot, that was pretty awesome. But throughout this entire arc, he's just been bitching and just been a pussy this entire time. I'm sorry to say if your favorite character is Usopp, but as of right now, as of 195, he's getting on my nerves. One thing that I really wish would have happened was the descendants of Nolan and Kagura actually meeting, like Ryder meeting Cricket. That would have been fucking epic, yo. But I mean, I can understand why, because one's way up there and one's way down there, but that would have been an epic finale to this arc, in my opinion. I really wish that could happen, maybe sometime in the future. One thing that I do call absolute bullshit is, in this arc, even more so than the previous one in Alabasta, there have been some attacks and some things that should have been straight up death for some characters, but they survived from either bullshit reasons or just straight up willpower, which I can understand the willpower part, especially if you're like really strong. Like Ryder, I can kind of give it to him. It was said that once you use the reject dial twice, you're guaranteed to die, but this dude used it like 4 or 5 times and still survived. I can kind of forgive that. But Connus's father, when that huge ray of electricity came down and killed him and the other guy that was being held captive or whatever, I thought that was it for him. Then he comes back in like the second to last episode of his arc saying, I'm still here. I'm like, how? Like, he says that he was knocked down into a lower level, right? So in my mind, that tells me that the blast knocked him back and he fell through the clouds or whatever. But Connus was knocked back. If you remember, he slapped her back, so I would think that she would have seen him fall, or maybe he means that the electricity or the blast just like pushed him through the ground into a lower level, and if that's the case, he really should have been dead. So that's just something that kind of irked my nerves, like, oh my god, just another survivor. I mean, if they're going to live, don't make it seem like they're dead. I mean, this exact same thing as the Pale thing. Don't give us sad flashbacks and shit if they're not dead. Not saying I want him dead, but that part should have been done differently if he was going to survive. Because after I saw him alive, I literally went back to the episode real quick and saw and watched how exactly was he able to survive that. And we've seen how much damage that does. It takes away ground, it takes away clouds, it puts a hole in everything. I can understand Luffy surviving it, but him, no, sir, I'm not buying that stuff. And also, speaking of ground, it's just kind of hilarious how the Skypians are just like worshipping dirt and calling it Verth and whatnot. I can understand because they've never seen anything like that before, but how Usopp tricked those guys into trading rubber bands and shit was hilarious, man. Saying that the rubber bands was the reason that you all were saved. Usopp is hilarious, but he still gets on my nerve. But overall, this arc was amazing. I am loving One Piece so far, and someone please answer the question of who that was that fixed their ship. Like I said, I prefer the Crocodile versus Luffy over the Eneru versus Luffy, simply because, like I said like a million times already, that it seemed like Luffy's life was in genuine danger fighting Crocodile, whereas Eneru is a better villain in my eyes over Crocodile. Like, I like him better than Crocodile, but I don't know. It just seems like Luffy was destined to win this fight. The only thing that harmed him was heated up gold and his wrist being bound and whatnot. But with that being said, I cannot wait to see Eneru again, because it's completely obvious that we're going to run into him again. But by that point, he better come up with some new tricks, because we all know Luffy is immune to lightning, no matter how big the blast was. I mean, I know rubber does not conduct electricity, but that big blast at the end, I thought maybe it kind of like could heat up rubber and melt it in a way or some shit. Like Luffy was really in trouble, but no, he stepped out of that shit like a G. So, but anyway, tell me what you guys thought about this arc. I know you guys probably watched this shit years ago, but this is all new to me. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with me and re-experiencing this epicness with me. I cannot wait to see what the next arc is, and I am less than 100 episodes away from seeing the I Want to Live episode. I'm so hyped to see what all that is about. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. This has been jbDAuchiha. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.